Okay. Let me go ahead and... Okay. But where was I? Oh yeah, Borderlands 2. Do not like this game. I don't know. I think this is one of those games where if you played it as a kid, this probably has a lot of meaning to you. Like you really probably enjoy it and stuff like that. Or I don't. You probably have. If you played this as a kid, you probably have a lot of nostalgia for it, and because you had a lot of time to play it and everything like that. But I think as an adult, like I've played it through 3 times. I think playing it through once is fine. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on it, putting it in D tier, but like I just never want to play this game again. Maybe I'll play some of the DLC or one of the other Borderlands game with someone, but I never want to play Borderlands 2 again. I've just played through the campaign 3 different times with 3 different classes with 3 different friends. I just never want to touch this game again. Personally. It's not an F tier game for me. Like, I would still play some of the DLC or play a different, like, one of the series. I just don't want to touch the main story ever again. Conversely, Burnout Paradise, a game that I personally have a lot of nostalgia for. I enjoy running around the map on this one. This is one of the only racing games I've played a lot of. I think the only racing game I've played a lot of. This is like an open world, like, racing game. Really enjoy it. Have a lot of nostalgia for it. Played a little bit of the online mode this year just to see what it was like. It was okay. I think this game looks pretty and nice and good even by today's standards. If you get the the remastered version where you can like up the frame rates and run everything at like nice settings. I think this game looks very clean, looks very good. I had a lot of fun with it as a kid and everything, running around the world and stuff. Like I said, this is one of those games where I think that if you have childhood nostalgia for it, you'd enjoy it a lot, or like that vibe. So, maybe I'm being a bit hypocritical here, but I do have nostalgia for it, so I'm going to put in B tier. Haste. This is kind of a fun game. I did play it some. I just played the demo mostly. It's okay. It really wasn't my thing, but I don't think it's a bad game. How's it going, Lorenzo, by the way? Thanks for saying something about the YouTube thing. I didn't realize we weren't live on YouTube. That sucks. I've already been going for like an hour or so here. But yeah, I'm just rating all the games I've played both on and off stream. I guess you'll have to wait until the YouTube video comes out, maybe. Or watch back on the VOD, because on the Twitch VOD or something. But I will be making this tier list thing at least into a video, so. Like a Pirate Yakuza, was this? Oh wait, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Sorry, that is the full title. That's the full English title of this game. Listen, I played a lot of this game. Like a lot of this game. I feel like it's a C tier. I feel it's okay. It's all right. Like the combat is decent, but you just don't have a lot of chances to like actually fight one-on-one with a lot of people. And like the group combat is kind of iffy at times. It has Yakuza knockdown and stuff. The story is fine, but it doesn't really do as much with Majima as I wanted it to, given that it's a pirate, like it's a Majima game, and we're probably not getting another Majima game ever. Like, it's a waste of the character potential, trying to do interesting things with him. Like he gets amnesia at the start of the game, and you could use it either to show him trying to figure out who he is now in the series, now that he's, the series has gone on so long and he's getting older and stuff, figure out who he wants to be and all that kind of stuff, or you can make him like, I don't know, there was so many things you could have done with this game, and like they just didn't like dig into Majima's character at all, and like he felt like so flat here. And like so much of this game, I felt like, even as somebody who hasn't played some of the more recent games, felt like microwaved leftovers, and the pirate combat was like ship to ship combat was just kind of meh and not that good. Like, if you enjoyed it, good for you. I went into this hoping I would really enjoy it. I thought the combat was okay. I thought Kiwami's combat was better, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Kiwami and Kiwami 2's combat was better. Oh wait, was it Kiwami? Yeah, Kiwami. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I was really hoping the combat would be good in this one, given the trailers and messing around with it a little bit in the demo, but there was just no time. Like, there was Thug Style did not get any chance to shine. There were so many group fights. There was never like too many singular fights. There were a couple singular fights that were good, like against his bro and stuff, Saejima. Like, that fight was fun. There were some other like one-on-one fights that were fun, but like everything else was just kind of meh. I think part of the reason why I liked Kiwami 1's combat so much is because you could fight Majima in those one-on-one intense fights, and I think that's where Yakuza combat kind of shines the most when you get to the higher level stuff, because like the group combat, you can just get kicked by somebody and get knocked down, and it feels so gross. SMT4. Glad I played SMT4. Where do I put this? I'll put an A. I don't think this is the, like, it's pretty good. I think it's one of Atlus's better games so far that I've played. I think this setting is really good. I think I appreciate them trying different things with like the smirk mechanic and some other stuff that they tried. Removing the whole endurance stat and trying, I don't know, just something different. I appreciate them trying something different on that. And the setting is interesting. The visuals are pretty good for the 3DS. The character writing is a lot better than in some of the games, especially with the different representatives for the different routes and everything. I got lucky and stumbled into the best route with chat's help, so that was nice. I don't know, I feel this is a game I streamed. I talked a lot about it when I played it. The game was like, you know, however many tens of hours, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70 hours long that I played it or whatever. So actually I can't see how many hours I played it. I played SMT4 for like 125 hours. I think that some of the stuff was dumb. Like, I didn't like the fact that the fiends were random encounters. That was dumb. That was just a dumb decision. I don't know why you would do that. I think that was, yeah, not great. So I don't think it would be fun to 100% that game. SMT4, but I enjoyed playing through it. Also, like, the DLC fights are kind of whatever from a gameplay standpoint. I don't really know if they're worth going out of your way for most people. Maybe watch somebody else play through them. Ooh, this should be a fun one. So Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is a game I played off stream. A lot of people like it. I personally like card games a good amount. I like deck builders. I've played like a kind of knockoff Slay the Spire on my mobile phone back in the day, and I had fun with that. That app is now dead and gone and buried. I think I might have found an APK for it, but yeah, it's not like on the App Store or anything anymore. But anyway, I played Slay the Spire. I got a successful run where I killed the heart with each character and stopped playing the game. I think this game is fine, but I didn't want to go through and do like different ascensions. every once in a while I'll watch somebody play it and be like, oh, I kind of want to play Slay the Spire again, and then I'll play like a round or two and be like, oh yeah, I don't know. I just find the inconsistency of builds to be super annoying. The fact that there's no way to make builds more consistent bothers me in a lot of roguelikes and survivor likes and stuff like that, where it's like really hard to actually consistently get a good build. So you're just like playing a game trying to like roll the right dice in the right way, and you can't like affect what you actually get. And it really bothers me that like if I want to go for a certain build, I have to hope I get certain options presented to me. I know maybe that's not the right way to think about it, or not the way that other people think about it, but that's just how I feel about it. I do think this game is good, but I don't think it was personally for me, which is a little surprising given that I do like card games, and it feels like this would be something that would be up my alley, but just wasn't. Some of the roguelike aspects just weren't. Okay. Next one up here, Infinity Nikki. I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't have, you know what, we can put this in the no opinion category. I played it, like, it's okay. It's not my thing. I'm not the target demographic for this game. My sister made me play it. It was okay. I have like 100 some hours now on Steam because I was letting her use my PC to play it while I was at work. It's good. It's fine. Like, yeah, it's a game. Actually, it's so I guess the only notable part that I should mention is just the fact that the opening that I played has apparently been removed from the game because for some reason they decided to completely rework the story in some stupid way and make it a multiverse thing. So the opening that I saw when I first played through this on stream no longer exists, funnily enough. So I guess that's kind of neat. That's the most interesting thing I have to say about this game, really, is just that I got an experience that people don't have anymore when booting up the game. Persona 4 for the PS2. So I thought I'd go ahead and rate this, since this is technically a different version of Persona 4 that I played for the first time this year, with the Pixie Only challenge. Still working on that video, I know. Yeah, just one more week, guys. Just one more week till the Persona 4 Pixie Only video. I know, I'm working on it. But that being said, so my view of this was going to be a little bit skewed because obviously I played it through on Pixie Only. I think that this version of Persona 4 is really good, really solid. I think this is a really solid base. I think that Persona 4 Golden does build upon it in good ways and change some things. I think that the balancing of it is a bit closer to my liking personally. I think if I had played through this version like normal, I would have had a decent challenge, but it wouldn't have been too bad. I find that Persona 4 Golden is too easy. I wish Persona 4 had more of the balancing of this game in some aspects, but also there is some like crappy game design with the first couple of dungeons having like enemies that null or even repel like physical attacks and stuff like that. And I think that's way too much for the first couple of dungeons. Not even some SMT game. Like a lot of SMT games don't even do that, let alone the Persona series, which is ostensibly at this point supposed to be a little bit easier, although I guess Persona 4 Golden kind of like that trend kind of continued on with like Persona 4 and then Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 Portable and all that. Those games got progressively easier and easier overall, just giving more ways for the player to gain power, basically. Anyway, point being, I think this is a good, solid game. I understand why a lot of people like it. I think it's a good version of the game. I enjoyed playing Persona 4. I don't know if I'm not super looking forward to Revival. I'll play it when it comes out. I'm gonna try and make some more guide content about Persona 4 Golden after I play Persona 4 once I finish the Pixie only video. We'll see how that goes. Try and get some stuff out before, you know, Revival comes out, so people can watch that stuff and get hyped. So anyway, Battalion Wars. So I played the Battalion Wars 2 a decent amount on the Wii. I borrowed it from the library, had a good time with it. So I thought I'd really enjoy Battalion Wars 1. It's on the GameCube. I played a good amount of it. I think like 20 some hours. Actually, let me check. What else is it? Let me see what else I said about this game, because I know this game, I wanted to play it. Yeah, so I played 3.5 hours of this. I wanted to enjoy it. I think so. Let me read what I said. Did not finish. I remember really enjoying the sequel on Wii as a kid. I still think this game is good, but the controls are hard to work with. Keep in mind, I was playing on an actual GameCube controller with an adapter for this, even though I was emulating it. So I guess that's what happens most of the time with RTS games on a controller. It's true. Not that it's a full RTS game. I do like the art style and overall vibe, but I'm not sure it's worth finishing. And I didn't. I don't know. I just had a couple of play sessions where I sat down, tried to play it for an hour, got pretty bored of it, did that 3 times or so, and was like, you know what? It's not worth finishing, even though it is only like, what, 6 hours long or so? 9 hours. So I was like 1/3 through the game. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's probably whatever. It's okay. It's good. Like art style wise and everything. I just didn't really enjoy it as much. I'd be kind of interested to go back to the Wii one and see if it was just kid brain making me feel like this game was good, the sequels was good, or if they actually improved upon this. But I'll just put in C tier. With the caveat that I didn't actually finish it, by the way. Did enjoy it, just didn't feel like it was worth finishing. Hey, thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're already living in 2026, huh? I got a couple hours here. Just doing tier list stuff for all the games I played this year and all that. But yeah, thanks for the well wishes, man. Hope you're doing good. Let me take a sip of water a minute. Okay, so Yakuza Kiwami 2. Another remake of the Yakuza series. So this one is a remake of the second game. This one was pretty good. I think overall this is a better remake than of 1. There's less weirdness here. You know what? I'm kind of blanking on what I thought about Yakuza 2. Let me look at what I wrote down after actually finishing it. Oh yeah, this is the secret Korean plot. Yeah, so the plot in Yakuza 2 is still pretty convoluted. They reuse like characters from like Yakuza 1 and try to make them secret Koreans and like have this whole plot with that, which is wild and like, I don't know, I just kind of vibing through it. They also add in a love interest that they write out really quickly. The use of guns in some of the cutscenes is frustrating. Mostly because it kills off likable characters for no good reason using guns. The Majima Construction Agency minigame didn't feel great. I wanted to like it, but yeah. The Cabaret Club running in this game doesn't feel like it should be in the game at all. I don't know why we're having Kiryu run a Cabaret Club here, other than just RGG could copy and paste things somewhat easily. I don't think that it warranted an inclusion in Kiwami 2. But there were some fun mini games in the arcade. The toilets thing, batting was fun. The combat was okay. It was much more like leaned into the RPG than action side, but it was still fun. It just didn't feel as good or as fluid as Zero or Kiwami 1. Secret Koreans in a Japan game, insane. Yeah, I'd like to go back and play Yakuza 1 and 2 like properly on the PS2 at some point, but yeah. Apparently that's also kind of a thing, by the way, like secret Koreans being like people pretending to be Japanese but actually Korean is kind of actually a thing, or like one of those things in like when it comes to the Yakuza, so I guess it was playing off that. But yeah, I just, it's way too much to try and follow. I think this is the one where they brought in an outside writer to like come and write the story for them, because they were like, well, shoot, we didn't expect to get a second game. Let's get an actual writer in here and like have him try and, you know, cobble together some sort of story to take it forward. And again, it still doesn't feel like the characters are quite themselves yet. So, but they're starting to get a bit closer to like the characters that you know in like later games. Star Wars. So I got on a Star Wars kick for the next few games here. So Star Wars Battlefront 1, good game, but like not super amazing. I played through the campaign again. It's okay. It's good. Like a solid game. Give it like a B tier. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original. Like holy nostalgia. So much nostalgia for this game. These are both like third-person shooters. Hey Union, how's it going? These are both like third-person shooters, obviously set in the Star Wars universe, with like large-scale battles where you get to like kind of like do the battles that you see in the movies, like fight through them was the concept. I think they're done really well for the time and everything. Super sad that Disney basically came in and axed Battlefront 3 in this series, given that it was like almost ready to ship. Dude, the timeline where we get Battlefield 3 is also a timeline where Disney's sequel trilogy does not exist. Like, just putting that out there, like, man. Anyway, did you get a lot of snow today? Yeah. No, I had a hard time getting home from work today. I tried to turn into my, like, the road my house is on, and I started fishtailing, and I had to like keep going forward and like control the car and like basically turn back around and try again. It was so bad. But also my car kind of sucks. I'm saving up for a new one. So after playing the original Battlefront 1 and 2, I went back and went ahead and played the new Battlefront 1 and 2. So Battlefront 1 by EA does not, and DICE actually doesn't have a campaign, so I ended up just kind of messing around playing some like offline skirmish matches and stuff. It's okay, like it's all right. It looks pretty, but like it plays just fine. It is Star Warsy. It has a space revolver. I like the space revolver. I don't know why we got rid of reloading. Why do we have cooldowns on all the weapons? Even when they obviously have magazines, because some of them are just straight up World War II guns that we put like extra bits of plastic on back for the original movies. Like, I don't understand why we got rid of reloading. That seemed like dumb. Yeah. I do not have snow tires, no. I have 3 different tires on my car because 2 of them popped over the last like year or so. One because I went over a sandbag that fell off a truck onto the road, went over it, pop. And another one that it was just so cold last winter that the pressure got too much and I went over one of our many Michigan potholes and it popped one of the tires. So I have like 2 like raggedy secondhand tires on my car, but it's not worth like getting a whole new set of tires for that car. So I'm saving up for like a new car in general. Working on that right now. Got a couple more months here. So once the winter's over, once the worst driving section, worst time to drive is over, then I'll be able to get a new car. That'll be nice. But yeah. Battlefront 2. This one actually does have a campaign. And it's fine. Like it's okay. But and like I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. And the DLC is not great. but there is a lot more substance to this one, I find, than Battlefront 1. And it's nice that we get the like the classic era as well. Like you get 3 different eras to mess around with and stuff. So I think that this one has a lot more substance, and it actually has a campaign I could play through. I do wish that you could go first person with heroes though, so I could go first person with the clone commando. You know what? This being in the same tier as that does not feel right. I'm just gonna put that there. Yeah. But yeah, overall, this one definitely has more substance than this one. Dead as Disco. This is a fun one. This is just one I want to include in here because it's a lot of fun. So this is a game, like an action game, kind of like DMC and stuff, where, or I guess the best comparison would be, think Hi-Fi Rush, but you can put your own music in. So currently, it's just a demo with like 1 playable level and like a music player kind of thing to mess around with and like put in your own music, but already it's a lot of fun, and there's quite a few mods for it and stuff. I'm looking forward to the full release, and it's just a game I've been like inputting my own music into and messing around with on and off again over like the last few months. So hopefully I'll have like some footage I can throw in here in the video when I'm editing this, but yeah. What did I get for Christmas? My 2 front teeth. No, I got an electric screwdriver, a new watch, like a Fitbit watch, because my old one was off by 2 minutes and was getting kind of old. And then a PS5 controller. That's what I got for Christmas. Anybody get anything good for Christmas? But yeah, that's what I got. That and some other stuff, but those were the main things. Mostly just sweets or whatever. Stocking stuffers, apart from that. Star Wars Republic Commando. Oh, Star Wars Republic Commando, my beloved. Dude, I love this game so much. I really do. I really like this game a lot. It's a first-person shooter set in the Star Wars universe. Obviously the Clone Wars. You play as a Republic Commando, and you get to lead a squad of other commandos to do other, like, to do missions and stuff. It takes place, I think, between episode, I want to say 2 and 3. I don't know, it's been a minute. Either way, it's fun. It's a great game. It's a good standard first-person shooter, and the Star Wars setting adds quite a bit to it. The squad mechanics are actually pretty decent. It's a shame some of the same people worked on this game also worked on Halo 5, which yeah, I have opinions on Halo 5, but oh yes, your 20-minute case of the hiccups. Well, it's the thought that counts, right? Yep. Yakuza 3. So this is kind of an interesting one. So this is the first Yakuza game that I played actually that wasn't like a remaster or one of the newer games, because before this I'd played Yakuza 0, which is a prequel that they made like after 5, and then I played the remakes of 1 and 2, and then also the newest one, Pirate. That was that spin-off one. So this was like the first one that I played that was like as it was when it came out. For the most part, the remaster has some issues with like frame rate issues and like stuff like that, but I ironed most of that out with mods. A lot of people don't like this game. They call it Blockuza, and they don't like the combat and stuff like that. I kind of love this game, like way more than I thought I was going to. I feel like I actually have to put this in B, by the way. So I'm adjusting things as I go a little bit, but yeah. Yakuza 3. I actually enjoy quite a bit. I enjoy the story. I think Rikia is my favorite side character so far in all of the Yakuza games. No, don't worry. We'll get to the spreadsheet in a minute. But Yakuza 3 is like, I think my favorite, or like, not my favorite. But I think Yakuza 3 is a really fun game, actually. I will say the like lore dump is kind of, but I feel like this is when the games actually started coming into their own, as far as I could tell. Like the characters felt like the characters that you knew. The story was starting to get a bit more interesting, and everything. And a lot of the sub stories were good hits. I really like that like PS3 era, like Okinawa City was a really fun place to walk around in, and so far it hasn't been in any other games. This is getting a remake soon. I will play it at some point, although I'm not gonna jump right on it when it comes out. But even when I beat the original Yakuza 3, I was like, I want to go back and replay that game because I feel like there was a lot I didn't do in terms of the side content and stuff. So, well, Mario, we only have like 3 more hours of 2025, so I don't think I'm gonna play the SMTs this year, but maybe next year. These are games. So I wanted to get into some more RTS games this year because I remember, yeah, Kiwami 3 Director's Cut win. Maybe by the time I get to it, right? So I wanted to get into more RTS games this year. So I was playing some Supreme Commander. I played Forged Alliance and the original Supreme Commander. To be fair, I kind of played this in a weird way where I played it through the fan client version of Forged Alliance, where you can play the Supreme Commander missions through that and stuff. And I was playing the co-op version of Supreme Commander Forged Alliance that you can play in the fan client, so you can play like the campaign missions co-op style. Since a friend of mine was like wondering if there are any more RTS games that are co-op that we could play, and this is one of them. With mods you can play the together. I did want to like these games, and I do think, I don't know, I feel like these games are just a bit too overwhelming for me. Like, I played like the actual missions of this for like 10 hours and the missions of this for 20 hours. I feel like it's way too much for me to handle. Like, I kept having to pause things to keep track of everything. There's just too much going on for me. I hate microing in RTS games, and I feel like there's so much microing in this game. There were so many times when I would like restart a mission or just like pause, queue up a bunch of building stuff, and like then I would get back to my remember my workers like 3 minutes later, and I would find them idle or something. It was just like a massive headache to play through this and Forged Alliance. Even like with like Forged Alliance, I was in these games, I was playing like the missions like co-op with 2 people, and it still was hard to keep track of everything. Just not my style of RTS, I think. I think they're still good games, but just not my style of games, I think. Ooh, this is a fun one. Escape from Duckov. I'm gonna put this from personal enjoyment standpoint, I think I'm gonna put this in S. This is a game I played a lot of the demo of, like a good 30 hours of the demo, and the full game came out recently, and I've already put another 10 hours into that. I've kind of like been cut off from my addiction because my SSD with this game installed is currently not plugged in. So I have to like wait for the cords to come, and I have to like do cable management into my computer case so I can actually plug that SSD in and start playing this again. But that being said, I really enjoy this game. This is a top-down extraction shooter, solo extraction shooter, so you're not playing against other players. You're playing against bots. It's a lot. It's like obviously a play on Escape from Tarkov, Escape from Duckov. It's a lot more lighthearted. I think I played it for like 5-10 minutes on stream one time just to show you guys, because I had been playing so much of it off stream. It's a game I really like a lot. Some of my most like most gamer moments came from playing this game off stream, where I would like die and then try and rush to grab my stuff, because if you die, your stuff drops on the ground and you can go and get it, but if you die again, the stuff's just gone. And I just had so many like gamer moments and like clutch moments of like, no, don't die, or just like dying like as soon as I picked up my stuff and like having to go back out and like try and get it again. But now I have even less stuff back in my base to get it with. Dude, I like this game a lot. It's just the right amount of like, you can lose progress, but like if you're smart and play well, you're less likely to. Adding in human players for a game like this for me would just be way too much, but I like this game quite a bit for that. It's the right amount of like, you can lose progress for me personally. Persona 5X. I guess C tier. The world is fun to explore. It's fun to see the new take on the art style and everything, the world and everything, and like walking around the world, and some of the like sides, like the actual like side stories and stuff, like some of the social links that you can do are kind of fun. But the actual gameplay is just kind of and like the NA like global release people like got kind of shafted. Like there's some favoritism like going on with like the Chinese servers or whatever, or just like they shafted like the global servers, I guess. I don't know if I'd really say it's favoritism, I guess, for the Chinese servers, but like they kind of shafted us, and like how they release content so quickly and like not giving us as much free stuff, and just like it's okay. I wanted to like it. I gave it a good shot, but I'm just not in the headspace to like play a gacha game like on a daily basis anymore, and even when it's a Persona game, you know. Also, it's another Persona 5 spin-off. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Honestly, maybe this should have come out next year, because then Persona 5X, you know how like 10 is like, or well, no, is 10 the Roman numeral for, yeah, 10 is X is the Roman numeral for 10, right? So it should come out next year, because it would have been 10 years after Persona 5 came out. But yeah, or they could have released a bunch more spin-off games, and then it could have been the 10th Persona 5 game. Yeah, right. He is coming. So he's coming. So this is kind of an interesting game. The art style is pretty cool. You know what? I should open up Steam. A minute. Hold on. See if I can open up Steam here. But anyway, yeah, I feel that last thing. Yeah, the video editing and losing weight, I could probably stand to focus on that. But oh gosh dang, I just want to pull it up here so I just want to pull up the screenshots of the game. Plus I'll want Steam up soon anyway. So this finally got its full release. I played the demo version of this. I just want to bring this up. So this is the art style of the game of He Is Coming. It's a roguelike where you run around this overworld map, and you have a certain amount of moves. You can see on the top there's like a day and night cycle kind of thing, and then at the end, a skull. You have a certain amount of moves until a boss spawns, and then that repeats like 2 more times. All right, see you later, Lorenzo. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a good rest of your year. So this is roguelike. I played a good like chunk. I played a good amount of this, like a good 15 hours or so, I think. Actually, I can check real quick. How much did I play? Where is this? Oh, I see. Okay. But yeah, anyway, I played a good chunk of this. I enjoyed it. Roguelikes just aren't quite my thing sometimes, but I did enjoy the art style of it and stuff, and the music. I enjoyed it for a good like 10-15 hours. There is a demo, like I said. That is what I ended up playing. But the full game is out and is on sale right now for $5, which is not bad. Let's see if I put this on. Does it show? No, it doesn't show here how much time I played on it. But yeah. So, you know, kind of interesting game. Maybe it's your kind of thing, maybe not, but just want to show the visuals of that one because that one does kind of stand out for its visuals. So, I think overall, give it a B. Not quite my thing. Good game. I think if it is your game kind of thing, like with the visual art style and everything and the setting, I think you'd enjoy it. Generation Zero. I feel like the B category is going to get pretty bloated, but I can maybe rearrange some things later. Generation Zero. So this is a first-person, like, open world, kind of weird hodgepodge. It started as like a survival co-op game and then kind of turned into a looter shooter, and you can kind of feel that where things kind of feel kind of hodgepodgey with how its content is and everything. Like there's daily missions and stuff like that. It feels kind of weird, but it is fun. The visuals and like worlds you run around in is very pretty. The people who made the world are the same people who worked on a I think hunting game that looks really good as well, like visually, and they did a good job making this world, this map. It's based off of a fictional island from Sweden, and it's apparently if you live in Sweden, it feels a lot like Sweden, to the point where I watched a whole video essay about how somebody from Sweden being like, yeah, it feels like it's a place in Sweden, and everything. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's interesting to see games depicting a area of the world that you live in. I think that would be really cool. Like if there was a game that depicted the area that I live in, even if I didn't necessarily would otherwise want to play the game, I think I would try it just to kind of see what it would be like, you know. Overall, the game is fun to run around in. I did play it for a good chunk of time. I played it with that friend as well because it is multiplayer. I played this for 60 hours. Yeah, 60 hours. But overall, while it is visually nice and like the enemy designs are cool and everything, there's these giant like security robots, military security robots that, shock of all shocks, got like, you know, turned on their human masters and stuff, right? But it's still a very confused game. I don't know if I'd recommend it a ton. I'm gonna put it at like top of C tier for right now because it's a very confused game. They also like made a major balancing changes to like how crafting and everything works right before they stopped like updating the game, and so there was a bunch of like late game issues that they just never ironed out. I don't know, it's a good game, but it's very confused on what it wants to be. I enjoyed it quite a bit though, and visually it's very striking. So Yakuza 4, so this one, I feel like this is a really good Yakuza game. Is this their first Yakuza S tier? I mean, this is the latest mainline Yakuza game that I played, right? I don't know, is this an S tier Yakuza game? I don't know. I feel like it hasn't cracked into that. I feel like the only S tier Yakuza game I played is Yakuza 0. I still think it's better than the other two in this category. Maybe I'll have to trench them out a bit more, but I think that this is yeah, this is the first game where you have like a bunch of protagonists. 5 is going to continue this trend where you're gonna have 5 protagonists. They're trying to get away a little bit from Kiryu here after 3 games. They're not sure where they really want to take him. 3 was supposed to be, I think, kind of the conclusion of Kiryu, but like they've kind of tried to do that a few times. I feel like 3 through 6 is just them trying to figure out how to sunset Kiryu, and I guess apparently 6 eventually did it because 7 onwards has had a new protagonist. But regardless, Yakuza 4 is a good game. It's the first game that I feel like, mainline game I would say, that feels like the plot is a bit more intelligible and fairly well written. The combat is starting to come into its own a bit more. While I do enjoy 3, I will admit that the combat is still a little rough around the edges, but given that it was the first Yakuza game on the PS3 and not on the PS1 and 2, I think it's fine. Yakuza 4's combat actually starts to feel pretty good, especially with some of the different fighting styles that different characters have. And I think it was pretty courageous. I don't know. I think it was pretty ballsy to like start off with not Kiryu as the protagonist, where the first few people you play as aren't Kiryu, and you don't get to Kiryu until like fairly late into the game. That being said, the new protagonists are all pretty likable, and they build upon like the world that already exists fairly well and integrate them into the plot fairly well, and it all makes sense why they're there and everything. Overall, I think Yakuza 4 is once again a tick in the right direction of just like the Yakuza series slowly gaining momentum and becoming better and better. It's also the first Yakuza game where I did all the sub stories, I think, and fought Amon for the first time, and that was fun. That was all right. It took a little while, but it was good. I still haven't found a Yakuza game that I think it'd be worth 100%ing yet, though. Raido Kuzunoha and the Soulless Army. This is a pretty good game. I don't think it's a $70 game or whatever it is on Steam. What is it on Steam? Hold on. And like, you know, it's what is it, a $50 game? Okay, that's actually, yeah, it's usually $50. Right now it's $35. Okay, for $35 I would say that's fine. I think it's more of a $40 game base price, to be honest, is what I said. I don't think it's like a full $60 or $70 game. It's a good remaster. It's definitely a improvement over the original, and I think that if you have the option to play this version or the old version, play this version. The combat's way better, but it's a bit shorter, so just know that, and there's not a lot of replay value like there are with the other SMT games, so it's a good game to play through once. Like I said, wait for it to go on sale. It is currently on sale for you know, a chunk. It brings it down a decent amount, but you could wait for it to go lower, I guess. Up to you, but I think the price that it is at now is okay. I would pay that price to play that game if I hadn't played the game but I knew more about the game. So the combat itself is good, if a bit stilted. I don't know, I wish there was more depth to it, but I can't imagine playing the original, which was even worse. So you would only have like 1 demon instead of 2. Just like a lot of improvements that were made in the second game got backported here in the remaster. And the voice acting is really, really good. The story is pretty good as well, And while this game is relatively short compared to SMT's other games, I think that kind of works in its favor. It does have like kind of a grand plot, but it doesn't get like too complicated. This is the start of the Call of Duty kick. I played Call of Duty 2. Dude, I don't even remember. What did I even say about this one? This is one where I have to go back and look at it. Because, like, some of these Call of Duty games start to blend together. I do not remember what I thought about this one. Fairly solid campaign overall. Some good locations of variety. The gameplay is a real rough around the edges, partly because I played on hard. So it felt like a lot of enemies spawning BS and things were tried where you tried to progress. Gotcha. Leading to you being shot out in the open from Germans who suddenly appear from around a corner only when you're progressing and most likely exposed. Right, yeah, some of the triggers are a bit bullshit, yeah. That and the enemy and ally AI can be summarized as lobotomized aimbots. Sometimes they pop up and immediately shoot you with no target acquisition time. Other times they run around in the open like headless chickens. Allies will walk into your line of fire, refuse to move to let you pass, or to get away from a grenade sometimes. The bots in general don't know how to keep a perimeter and focus on the player too much. The ally AI will clump up around you, while the enemy AI will run right past an AI ally to attack the player. And your allies will let them do it too. The amount of times I got flanked by randomly spawning Nazis or an enemy coming in from a direction I thought my allies had covered was mind-boggling. Overall, the guns felt okay. I tried to mostly stick with the guns given to me at the start of a mission, as that makes the most sense for an actual soldier. Only swapping to German weapons a couple of times to try them out. Although in the late game I was a bit more lax with this, as the stun kinda sucks in this game, so I started swapping it out for the STG-44. The best gun in the game though is the scoped Gewehr 98 you can find in some of the bunkers in the last mission of the game. I'm not sure why, but for some reason it has the damage of a sniper rifle in the game, despite having a larger magazine size and faster fire rate of a carbine weapon. The only truly bad feeling gun in the game was the Panzerschreck. It has this weird AoE damage, seems to miss a lot, and can't be used against some vehicles due to plot armor. It's only used for set pieces and in 2 missions in the end game. If you have it, you can destroy the German APCs with it. That or you could just flank and snipe the gunner fairly easily. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's like the second Call of Duty game. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's, you know, it's pretty decent. It's solid. Gonna put that one in C tier, probably above Battalion Wars, I think. So this one was a little weird. So Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1 is a console exclusive version of Call of Duty 2, and when I say version, it's not even really the same game. This is that era of games where you would get like ports of like games to different different things, and they didn't even have like, they weren't even the same game, they just had the same name. You know, like a lot of licensed titles would do this. But this was the Xbox and original Xbox and PS2's version of Call of Duty 2. I played the PS2 version at first, like while emulating, but then I got a HDMI adapter for the original Xbox that I have, and I played it through that way. Honestly, this game is kind of fun because it has some like theaters of war that you don't see in a lot of other stuff, and like it's decent. It's got decent gunplay and stuff because it's still a Call of Duty game, right? I think honestly the biggest part of this game that I remember and will stick with me is just the Italian missions, like the missions where you're fighting against Italians, because they are using the worst gun I have ever seen in any video game, and like one of those most quirky ones. It's the Italian Beretta Modello 30 machine gun. It is a, oh my gosh, the magazine is not detachable. It like flips out from the gun and you load it with stripper clips, and it is the most piece of shit thing I've ever seen. It is amazing. It is the most like why does this exist gun ever? It is amazing. It is awful. I love it. I've never seen it in any other video game. B tier. Put that probably here. I'm just going through and doing a tier list and talking about every single game I played on and off stream this year. Speaking of, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards, F tier. This is a Game Boy Advance game I owned, played a decent amount of as a kid, never beat. Finally beat it this year. This is an F tier game. It is not good. It is a way too simplified version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Grindy. There's point requirements and like point caps on cards and stuff. It's so stupid. It's so grindy, and it's just there so like you can't bum rush the game because they simplified Yu-Gi-Oh! Way too much. Still kind of fun. The music slaps. The art's pixel art is kind of nice on the GBA. I have nostalgic memories of playing it, but it's not a good game. So free card though. Free card. Yep. I got like all the way to like the second to last boss or whatever, where you can like die to them, because there's like 2 bosses in a row. So you beat the first one, die to the second one, so you get more points. Because grinding like for points for your max capacity for your deck takes forever in this game. So no, I did SMT4, but I didn't do Apocalypse yet. SMT4 is living. Where is SMT4? SMT4 is currently living at the top of A tier. I might shuffle around placements and stuff a little bit at the end, but yeah. Sorry if I'm talking kind of fast. There were 55 games to get through. We're getting there, but yeah. Call of Duty World at War. So this is yet another Call of Duty game I played this year. This is a really good Call of Duty game, by the way. I understand why so many people talk about it and stuff. It is really like the last hurrah of the classic Call of Duty games, I would say. And honestly, they went out with a bang. Like, this is a very interesting Call of Duty game. Introduced zombies, right? Nazi zombies. That's first time was with Call of Duty World at War, right? Very gritty game in a lot of respects. The Russian campaign obviously has some cool characters and stuff, and it's kind of cool to see that character get carried forward in the future games as well a little bit. Reznov, very charismatic. Still, I would say the story with Reznov and stuff is still only good for Call of Duty. I wouldn't say it's good in general. The ending of the Allied campaign is also, or sorry, not Allied. The American campaign is also kind of interesting in like the choice you have to make at the end of it, but other than that, the gameplay is pretty good. So what I ended up doing with this game is I'm just leaving it in A tier for right now. Hold on, I gotta double check my notes here. But what I ended up doing for Call of Duty World at War is I played through on like I think normal, and then I went and like found mods to make it quote unquote more realistic, like with more period accurate like uniforms and stuff, and played through the game on the hardest difficulty. I got like 80% of the way through this and then just didn't finish all the way because I just didn't care at that point, because it had been like weeks. I'd been playing the game for like weeks and weeks and everything, and I just stopped caring at a certain point. But it was fun. The hardest difficulty of any COD game is always kind of a little bit BS in my opinion. This one is well known for its grenade spam from enemies, which is a thing. But overall, I had fun with this game. And I think I understand why so many people hold it in such high regard. I don't know if it would crack S tier for me because it still just feels like a Call of Duty game to me. But I understand why so many people hold it in such high regard. And I didn't even touch the multiplayer at all, so I'm sure there are people who really like that as well, that aspect of it. I did play like a couple rounds of zombies just for, you know, shits and giggles, but giggles and shits, gets and shiggles, but at least it isn't the sniper jackals from Halo 2. Yeah, fair enough. Touche. But yeah. Very good Call of Duty game. The last hurrah of classic Call of Duty, I would say. And I think a lot of people would agree. For better or for worse, right? Nier Automata. This is a game that I had an existential crisis about. Not because it asked a lot of interesting questions, but because I was not sure what I was missing. So I hear all the time about how Nier Automata is like, it's one of those games that like there's like a bunch of video essays about, and like people talk about it being their favorite game ever and it being so amazing and everything. And I played it and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's all right. Like, it's okay. It's not like anything crazy. Like, this game is not like an S tier for me. It's good. I think that the combat doesn't need levels. I think that that was kind of a mistake. Platinum games, people make Bayonetta, never needed like a leveling system for their game. There doesn't need to be levels in this game. I think it kind of just drags down the combat, to be honest with you. But like, the combat is good because it's made by the Bayonetta people. They know what they're doing. It's fun. The character designs are great. The art style is great. The world is fine. I just feel like the game is a little short and the story is a little messy, but still overall a good time. I just like, I was expecting an S tier, and what I got is something either in the A or B tier. Let me read over my notes again a minute before I actually place it. But yeah, I just had like kind of a weird, like, I had to like go for a walk and think for like an hour after beating this game. Like, am I crazy? Like, what are people seeing that I'm not, right? Like, I had to like go for a walk and like think about this game, not because of like the existential questions it poses, but like just because it was doing stuff that I've seen before, or I felt like it wasn't doing anything too crazy, and I felt like the gameplay could have been better. And I was like, what am I missing? You know, like, it was just one of those, it was like the first time in a while, because like a lot of these games, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sacred Cards notwithstanding, a lot of these games are fairly well known for being good, right? Like, when I say Left 4 Dead 2 is an S tier game, nobody blinks an eye. When I say Metro Exodus is an S tier game, maybe some people blink an eye, but not really. Halo, same thing. Like, when I say these games are A tier, like, these are all fairly well-known games. I'm not like saying anything crazy that Slay the Spire is a good game. Wow. You know, stuff like that. Nobody is surprised by that take, but it was like the first time in a while that I'd played a game that I thought I was going to like, and I did like it, but I wasn't wowed by it. Like, everybody who talked about the game, I feel like I felt like there was a lot of hype for Nier Automata, and I did think it was very good, but it's not a masterpiece. So the like back half of the game in terms of story feels kind of rushed. So overall, very good game. Not a masterpiece. That is my opinion on Nier Automata, or Automata. Is it Automata? So anyway, Kirby's Dream Land. This is one game I actually don't have footage for, I think, for video editing purposes whenever I edit this into a video. But you'll just have to take my word that I played in a game that's literally listed as an hour long to beat on howlongtobeat.com. I did play the original Kirby's Dream Land, the original Kirby game this year. I actually own this physically. I did play it. I played it on like a day out, you know, just like on a car ride. I was like, oh, that'd be a good game to play. So I played the original Kirby game. Kirby cannot actually copy abilities in this game. It's a cute game. It's a fun little platformer. That's about it. Kirby doesn't have his signature copy ability, but he has some cute pixel art This is back when Kirby was still conceptualized as a ghost, which is why he's all white. So yeah. Helldivers 2. I like this game. I played it like on and off for like 3 weeks. You can't ever really be done with this game, right? But like I played it a good chunk. Fun fact, Sakurai was 19 years old when he directed Kirby's Dream Land. Dang. Good for him, man. Yeah, getting older just means that like looking at all the people who did stuff when they were younger than you and being like, man, you know. But anyway, that being said, on to Helldivers. So Helldivers 2 is a good game. I feel like it's a quintessential after work game. I played for like a few weeks, met some really cool people there. Like the community is super welcoming and friendly. I imagine if you go on like higher difficulties, things get a little bit more sweaty. But for like the lower difficulties, it was a lot of like good cooperative fun, people just having a good time, you know. A lot of like guys just getting on like after work or after school or whatever, just hanging out for a few hours playing a game where they get to shoot giant bugs. I feel like there's a lot of complaining in the community over balancing and stuff like that, but I don't know how much of that is real versus not real. It's hard for me to say without playing a bunch of the game. Not really my thing, but you know, it's a fun game. It's like quintessential like after work game. I think it's like B tier for me personally. For some people it's probably a really great game and everything. It's just for me is like, yeah, it's a good game. I played for the like Halo collab thing. Got the like Halo like weapons and like gear and stuff, and that was fun. Unlocked that stuff, and I was like, yeah, I think I've played enough, so maybe I'll play it again with some friends and maybe it'll change my opinion on it. I did originally not enjoy Left 4 Dead 1 or 2 until I played them with people, so maybe if I got the right group, Helldivers 2 would get bumped up to A for me, but for now I can live in B. Running out of water here. Maybe I'll go get a refill on water before we go over to the next section of the stream. We still got to do the Steam like yearly recap in the spreadsheet. Getting there though. SMT4 Apocalypse. SMT4 Apocalypse. So the gameplay of this game is better. The story does some interesting things. A lot of the world is copy and pasted over. I don't want to talk too much about this game because I already played it for, you know, over 100 hours, and I talked about it more when I was actually playing the game. If you want to see my full thoughts on what I thought of this game, best bet would probably be to go and actually watch like the last stream I did of it or something. Just like watch me talk over the credits or whatever. It's usually where I give my full thoughts on the game, and it's usually the most accurate opinion I'll ever have of the game. So I like the gameplay. I think it's definitely an improvement over SMT4. Story not so much, although it does have some cool ideas. And I like the expansion of the partner system. Put it right around here. I think that's about right. Yeah. Kirby's Dream Land 2. So okay, this is the first game that I'm still in progress of playing. I'm still playing this on and off when I have time, because I'm trying to play through more of the Kirby games, you know. They're good games to play like just when out and about and I need some time to kill some time on like a car ride or something, so I've been doing that. This is like the first game that if you played it, you would think, oh, this is an actual Kirby game, because he can copy abilities and stuff. Sprite art is super duper cute on this one. It's just like adorable, like the little hamster and the bird and everything. It's all so cute. It's really good. This is like the first like game that you would like, if you played it, you're like, this like the first like actual Kirby game. Yeah, this is the where you get the hamster. Yep, hamster, fish, and bird. There's only a few different abilities you can actually copy in the game, but all of them are different if you are also like being helped by one of the 3 animals that you can get helped by. And they help, like, they also give you, like, more, traversal options and stuff. This game is actually kind of hard. I've been playing it and I've been dying a decent amount. I think, like, the Kirby games are very forgiving, but if you wanted to complete them in, like, one go around without, like, losing all your lives or having to hit continue, I think it would actually be fairly hard, where you'd have to, like, get fairly good. Maybe it's just a little bit of that old school difficulty and everything, but, like, it's very forgiving in the sense that you can just continue and, like, keep going, right? As long as you don't care about score, which I don't really care about score when I'm playing these games, so. But yeah, technically I haven't finished this one, but you'll just have to take it for my word that the Kirby's Dream Land 2 game is good. As of time of, like, recording this, I don't think my opinion on that is going to change. Call of Duty, and now for something completely different. Call of Duty Black Ops 1, the first one, Mr. Mason Numbers. Not a game I streamed. The campaign for this one is really solid. I think it's one of the better, like, the better written campaigns of Call of Duty, obviously. It's definitely one of the more memorable ones, bringing back characters from World at War and continuing their story somewhat and giving that connecting thread from the last, like, World War II game into this era. Was it like the 70s and 80s kind of era, I think? Having that kind of connective tissue and stuff. And then, like, obviously the zombies mode was expanded upon here in the Black Ops and Black Ops zombies and all that kind of stuff. Let me see if there's any, like, particular, I feel like everything I'm gonna say about Black Ops 1 has already been said before. Let me read my notes and see if there's anything in particular I want to mention. Oh yeah, this is, like, when I first noticed how Hollywood the games had become. Like, I noted, I'm sure it's a thing too with, like, the older Call of Duty games, where if you play, like, the World War II ones, they're just kind of riffing off of, like, Hollywood movies of World War II and stuff as well a lot of the time. But Black Ops was the first one where I noticed, like, it was, like, modern blockbuster Hollywood early 2000s vibe of it, you know, or, like, mid 2000s or whatever you want to say, like those action movies or so. But it was the first time I noticed it. I think I noticed it, like, during the plane scene in, like, the first mission. So where you're, like, going down a runway trying to take off in a plane while shooting AA guns or whatever and stuff from, like, the side gunner spot or whatever. I kind of wish that we had gotten a game focused more on the Vietnam War, because it's, like, 1 or 2 missions in the entirety of Black Ops. I kind of wish that Call of Duty had done one more about the Vietnam War, but maybe that's a little bit out of the wheelhouse, because they're there to have a good time, not to, like, get, like, super, like, gory and stuff anymore. Like, maybe in the World at War era you could have had a game about Vietnam from Call of Duty, but nowadays probably not. The one thing I will say that did kind of undercut Black Ops campaign for me is the fact that, like, you're supposed to be hallucinating, spoilers for this old game, by the way, you're supposed to be hallucinating Reznov, but enemies will still shoot at them, like, will still shoot at Reznov, and you will, like, also see enemies die from getting shot by Reznov, which was kind of goofy, even if you don't, like, ever touch them. So ever played Etrian Odyssey? Kind of. I played Persona Q, which is basically Etrian Odyssey, but with like, a lot of Persona elements. I'm gonna play Persona Q 2 once I'm done with Dead Space 3. We might actually start playing that this Sunday, depending on how quickly we get through Dead Space 3. I have to get the thumbnail ready and stuff on Friday, so that way if we finish Dead Space 3 on Saturday, I can we can start Persona Q 2 on Sunday. But I have played a little bit of, like, the regular Etrian Odyssey games. I feel like they're a bit too open-ended for me personally, but I know that some of them have a story mode, and I think if I started with them, then maybe I'd be interested in playing like the more free roam, make your own kind of story versions of the game. But I would start at least with like some of the ones that have a story. So I kind of want to try those at some point as well. Yeah. What was I talking about though? But yeah, that's my only major complaint with probably the story of Call of Duty Black Ops is the Reznov thing could have been implemented better. Next up, directly after that, direct sequel is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So this is, the story is not as good. I think the first half of the story where it's told through the perspective of like talking to Woods and stuff is really fun because Woods is just a fun character. But the second half of the game where it's like all future stuff or like the last third or whatever, it's kind of eh. The future stuff I didn't really care for as much. A lot of the guns feels kind of goofy or whatever. But again, mixing and blending that like old era of Call of Duty with like the 70s stuff with like a futuristic, like, you know, wasn't this game actually set in 2025? Because I remember seeing a couple of videos come out this year of being like, how much did Black Ops 2 get right or whatever, or like retrospectives on Black Ops 2 because it came out, it was supposed to be set in 2025. So I think it's still good, but I don't think the story is as good personally, so it's okay. It's all right. Why? A little hard to, anyway. Road to Vostok. So this is a demo I played. It's one of those like first person crush your nuts hard Russian style games. Like think like Metro or Stalker, but much more Stalker, I would say. It's good. The most interesting thing I found in this game was the fact that you have to manually press a button to reload your shotgun. Like, you know how in most games, like with pump shotguns, it just automatically does the pump motion, and that's part of the like how fast you can fire it is just like a pre-baked animation where your character like pumps the shotgun or whatever. In this game, you have to manually press a button to pump a shotgun or to like use a bolt action rifle, which was a cool idea. Overall, it's decent. I didn't get too far into it though because the bots in this are way too aimbotty. Like I got shot from places like I couldn't even see them. They weren't even visual range. They were like hiding in some bush like a mile away, and they have like this dinky little pistol, and they're supposed to be untrained, like just like gangsters, like hoodlums basically, and they're still like shooting me with a pistol, and I have like no armor because the game doesn't give you any armor at that point, and just dying to like people I can't even see. It was bad. They were a little too aimbotty for me personally, and I had to like check if it was just being me, but it does seem like that's kind of a common complaint with the demo. I would still say it's decent. I'd put it in B tier probably, but yeah, it was kind of an interesting game. Not much to say about it, just thought I'd mention it. Menharium, kind of an interesting game as well. Anime art style. You get captured by a stalker girl, and she is drinking your blood. It's kind of a roguelike where you have to like roll dice, and you can affect the odds of like what the outcome of the dice game is by picking up items throughout your roguelike run, and you can go for different builds. And every single like time you fail to hit a certain like number or like a certain amount of points, she drinks more of your blood until you die. And so it was a good time. I played it for a while. The demo was kind of overtuned, but it admittedly said it was overtuned. Like it was intentionally kind of hard so people would have more time to play the game, the demo. Like it would take them longer to beat, which is kind of a dumb way of balancing it, I think. But yeah, it was good. I kind of like it. If you're kind of interested in that art style, I think it'd be kind of fun. Another demo. Game recommendation. keep that in mind. Hold on to that. We're almost done with the games. We're literally down to like the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games here. We have less than 10 games left out of 55. Hold that thought. We're about to get to the section where I'm gonna like go over the spreadsheet and kind of like make a new list for the next year. So we're getting there. Man, I didn't think it would take 2 hours to get through this, but I guess there were 55 games, so we're getting there though. Union Syndrome Psychosis. This is a rhythm game I played. It is pretty good. If you like the art style, if you like that kind of like sickly, cutesy, Manhara type art, anime art style, you'll probably like this. About a girl who is basically being brainwashed by a computer program to type a bunch of like paragraphs about her favorite idol, virtual idol or whatever. And that's the so like as you're doing the rhythm game, you see her like typing out the paragraphs. It's fun. It's good time. I enjoyed it. Fun little rhythm game. As you go through and like hit high scores on the songs that you play, you get to walk around and like get a little bit more insight on the like character's life and everything. So it was a good time. If you like rhythm games and you like that art style, you'll probably like it. Grounded. Grounded is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but a playable game. I haven't actually beat this one. I was playing it with a friend. We have kind of taken a break on it. Might go back and actually finish it. It's a good time. I think it's better than and more inventive than Sons of the Forest, because it's not just using zombies and stuff. It's bugs and everything as your enemies. I think that like, I don't know. We built our base in the wrong spot, and now that we progressed the story, there are just like high level enemies spawning right where our base is, and so it's kind of a pain. We might like have to move bases or whatever, or build up the current base we have with a decent amount of defenses. But I will say that at least it's like fairly inventive for having the fact that like the enemies aren't just zombies, you know, because there are so many games that are the enemies are just zombies. So anyway, Spartan Survivors. This is a Survivors like, so like Vampire Survivors, but with Halo. The only real notable thing about this is the fact that it is officially available on Steam. It's a fan game that the Halo Studios gave the green light to put on Steam, so that's kind of cool. It's a fun little diversion. I played it for a few hours. It's nothing too crazy. There are better Survivor games and stuff, but if you like Halo, it's worth giving like a few hours to just try out. Okay, so we're starting to get into more recent games that I've actually played, so maybe I'll have some more thoughts on these, or more recent thoughts. Dead Space 2. Dead Space 1 is this very well crafted, very polished experience. If it was on this list, but it's not because I played it last year, but if it was on this list, it would go in S tier. Dead Space 2 tries new things and is a bit longer than the original Dead Space in terms of length. It kind of gets a little bit old by the end, just because it's reusing encounter design and stuff from the original game and from earlier in the game. And it's not trying as many new things in terms of encounters. The story is a little bit better. Gameplay is a little bit better, but it didn't hit as hard. And it could be just because playing Dead Space 1 for the first time was such a hard hitting thing. But by the time of Dead Space 2, the necromorphs didn't hit quite as hard, and the enemies didn't hit quite as hard. And I felt like the story didn't carry enough to like make up the difference, if that makes sense. But it's still a good game. I'm not gonna pretend like it's not a good game, but it has some decent like highs. Like some of the new stuff it tries is pretty good, but it also tries some stuff that just doesn't quite land. Tribe 9, You know, what is it? Danganronpa. Guy who made Danganronpa tried to make a action RPG gacha game. The gacha game publisher was way over greedy, way over monetized it. EOS end of service within a year. I played a little bit of it because I have a friend who's a big fan of Danganronpa. She wanted me to play it. I was like, you know what? If I don't play it now, I'm never going to get a chance to play it ever again. I played through the intro part of the game. It was all right. If it ever comes back in any sort of way, I'd be interested as like a single player game, which it might. They might buy out the rights to it and remake it. I'd be interested in playing an actual like proper version of this game. But just for the story, the gameplay was all right. Yakuza Dead Souls. This is a case where the story and like everything besides the gameplay is amazing, and the gameplay story kind of sucks. The gameplay kind of sucks. The gameplay is all right. It's serviceable at best. It gives some people literally nausea. Like I've seen posts about people who cannot deal with the camera in this game, and if they're prone to motion sickness, they will like play for a little bit and feel queasy and have to stop or like sometimes almost throw up. Didn't really affect me. I don't really get motion sickness too much, but I can understand where they're coming from. The camera in this game is doggy doo-doo, and aiming sucks, and you're fighting zombies that are not too interesting. But the side content is pretty good, and the story is very good. I think this setting works very well for a Yakuza game. I think that it works surprisingly well for a Yakuza game. I wish this was on PC because more people could play it, and so it wouldn't chug hot ass during gameplay, because sometimes you get in a fight with a bunch of zombies and it just chugs so heavily because it's still stuck on the PS3. Dead Space Extraction. This is the Wii/PS3 railgun shooter for the Dead Space series. B tier. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's a on-rail shooter. Visuals and story are pretty decent. It's the better of the Dead Space console exclusive spin-offs. There's another one that was only on Xbox 360 and PS3, which was basically a series of the same 3 puzzle minigames over and over again in between like weird animated comic book sections that tell the story of some characters that never really show up again in the Dead Space series. So that's kind of interesting, but yeah, it's better of the two. If that one was on here, I'd put it in C, by the way. I forgot to add it on here, but yeah, the like other Dead Space spin-off one. Editing me put that right here or something. Okay, Dead Space 3. This is the most recent game and the last game that I got to play this year. Ended up just kind of running through all the Dead Space games somehow, so here we are. Besides the mobile one, which I'll probably never play, there was a phone one, which apparently is somewhat decent, but trying to get it running on like anything is kind of a pain because it's kind of old now, so. I'd say it's like a B tier. I think that if you played this game solo, it'd probably get knocked down to a C, but I think with co-op, this game is a B. I do kind of like the action-y stuff to it. The game's like, I don't know how you would not have it be somewhat action-y though, because I don't know, by this point in the Dead Space series, like I said, the necromorphs aren't that crazy. Like you've dealt with them for at least a couple games, and so has Isaac, so I think that moving past them as like the main source of like conflict was good. And I think a co-op, I wish this game had more time to cook, and like EA hadn't stepped in as much as they have. I think this game gets a bad rap for its microtransactions too, which is fair, but especially on launch. But now that like we're moved past that and the microtransactions aren't really available, like if you buy this on Steam, you can't interact with like the microtransactions at all. You can still buy the DLC, which is still will give you like guns that you wouldn't be able to get early, and like you can get it to get more resources more quickly. But like this game is like so unpolished. Like, you know how, okay, so part of the microtransactions is that they're supposed to give you in-game resources and stuff, right? There's I don't even want to call it a glitch. Let's say an oversight in this game where you can pass your entire inventory to player number 2. Player 2 can save and quit with your entire inventory plus their inventory, and then you can reload a save and have your entire inventory back, and you can just infinitely duplicate items, even items you're only supposed to have one of, and like just infinitely duplicate items, infinitely duplicate like just materials and everything, and completely break the balance of the game. And it's super easy to do, and it's so easy to find. I can't, like, it just reeks of not having enough QA time or enough time to address these things. I think that if this game had gotten more time in the oven to cook and EA hadn't meddled as much, it could have been even if it still had the action-y like kind of vibe to it, I think that Dead Space 3 still could have been like a really good game. As is now, I think it's a C tier game if played by itself, and a B tier game if like a high C, low B, depending on if you're playing it with a friend or not. I haven't finished the game. Maybe my opinion on this will change. I kind of doubt it. Editor me, if my opinion did change, put a note about that here at this point, but I have a feeling my opinion on this is not going to change unless the ending is really, really bad. So, because we've literally got only like a few more hours left of the game to finish it on Saturday, so I guess plus the DLC too, so, which is only a couple hours long as well. Alrighty, jeez, have I talked enough, guys? I talked for I think 2 hours straight there, so hopefully that was kind of interesting. I don't know, do you guys have any questions about any of these games, or can we move on to recommending games and figuring out when I'm gonna play next year? Have we talked about enough about what happened in 2025? Are we ready to move on? I'm gonna guess yes, because nobody's saying anything. Kat wants in. Let me go let her in and get a refill on water. I will be right back, and then when I get back, we'll go ahead and I'm gonna take a look at. I'm gonna show you guys my Steam wrap up for the year, and then I will go to the spreadsheet, and we can talk about next year and see if you guys can recommend me some stuff, and we can figure it out. All right, I will be right back. Oh, great. The timer is kind of... Oh, no, it's working. It's just not updating as quickly. Okay. Well, whatever. As long as it's actually working. Alrighty. But yeah. That's all these games and everything. Jeez, oh, Pete. Let's go ahead and... image. Oh, cat. Actually, you know what? She's fine. I don't want her sleeping on my bed. I have to go to bed here soon. Like right after stream, I'm gonna go to bed, so. Let me go over here a minute. Sorry. I just want to... Oh, jeez. Music. Okay. I just want to pull some stuff up on this end. Okay. So I guess one last... Overall, what do I want to say this year about this year in playing video games? I got through quite a few like longer games this year. I kind of want to work through. Yeah, I guess I took. Overall, I got through quite a few games this year. 55 games is nothing to sneeze at, but it also feels like a little bit too little. I did play some longer games this year, like some RTS stuff and all that, but I did also play some like Call of Duties and stuff. So I don't know. It feels like I'm playing a lot of games, but simultaneously not enough games, you know. But I still did get through 55 games, which is quite a lot. So, but yeah, enough is never enough. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull up my Steam replay for this year. So there's some fun stuff in here. This is public, by the way. If you want to find it, you can. I played 49 games on Steam. This is obviously not all the games I played this year, but 49 on Steam. I guess I didn't even talk about Devil May Cry 5 at all in like my tier list, did I? Because it's not a game I played for the first time this year, so. This is kind of interesting. I didn't realize I played so many games released in like the last like year or so. Like a fifth of my time was like games that played this year. Interestingly enough, my percentage is actually kind of higher than the average. Although maybe not when you consider like the 6 or 7 games I played like not on Steam, and those would have all been like older like classic games or whatever. Interestingly enough, it seems like more people, like people on average, are playing more games that are 8 years or older than I usually do. Most of my stuff is in like the last 1 to 7 years, which I don't know how, if 7 years ago is recent, but whatever, Steam. I like how relaxing and hack and slash are put right next to each other. And like roguelike or deck builder somehow got like one of the spots despite me only playing one game with that description, so it's like really low there. Also zombies is really high because of Dead Space and Yakuza Dead Souls and all that, and Left 4 Dead. Oh, did we pass it? No, yeah, we did. 69% played with controller this year, by the way. That's funny. Not intentional at all, just ended up happening that way. Happened, I think, in 2023 as well, where I ended up with 69% of my gameplay being played with controller. Top games I played this year: DMC5. Yep, DMC5 DMD mode took a lot out of me. Yakuza 4 remastered. That makes sense. I got a huge amount of done in that game. Ended up doing all the sub stories and stuff. So. Generation Zero, played quite a bit of this game off stream, like I kind of mentioned, but yep, played a lot of it off stream. I enjoyed my time with it, but never actually finished it, or the main story at least. Nier Automata, yep, played that a good amount. Yakuza, Pirate, yep. Yeah, I spent most time with these games on controller, just because I like playing action games. With controller. Yakuza games are quite long. Anything like kind of longer, I tend to lean more towards controller. Same with Generation Zero, just because like it strains my hands less than playing with the PC, like mouse and keyboard. Some demos I played, I already talked about these. Longest streak was from June 15th to July 9th. Probably would be longer if it included games off Steam, obviously, but yeah. Then just kind of a view of the games I played. I didn't mention Killing Floor 1 and 2. I did play them some. I mean, they're alright. I don't know. I have no opinion on them. If I had to put them on the tier list, I would put them in the no opinion category, just because I need to play them with other people to have an opinion on them, and I did not do that, so. Yeah, I mean, just, that's the timeline. Played some Lethal Company with friends. It's alright. I don't know, I guess I could have put that on the tier list, I guess. Yeah, that's about it. At least for the Steam stuff. So let me go ahead and... Alrighty, so... Who's ready for spreadsheets? I'm ready for spreadsheets. Are you guys ready for spreadsheets? Let me zoom in on this. So this is kind of what I was looking at when I was talking about like looking back at my notes and stuff here. This is like all of them in order, but let me just do them like in alphabetical order here. But this is like my spreadsheet that I use for keeping track of all the games I'm playing, putting like little reviews or notes about them, excuse me, after I finish playing them and stuff on the right hand side, and all that kind of stuff. Total amount of hours played according to this is 1,212, which is actually kind of probably low. I think it's lower than 2024 actually, which is surprising considering that I was unemployed for most of this year. I guess I did get a job, so that accounts for like 80 hours or so in like the last couple months, just not having time to play games. But yeah, I played through most of the stuff I want to play through this year. I did take some stuff off this list and put new things on as the year went on, but I played through a good chunk of stuff, so... So yeah, let me do this then. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hit duplicate. And we're going to call this 2025. And we're going to put this over here. Come on. Don't be shy. Go over here. And then... what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the ones that don't have clear, all the blanks, and we're just going to delete these. And then I'll go ahead and, oh, I can delete this stuff too. Ignore the man behind the curtain. And then... yeah, and then if I remove the filter, then this is all the games I played in 2025, except for this stuff, which I guess I can go ahead and delete as well, because I haven't finished them, so. Okay, so okay, let's go over here, and then for all the stuff that has a date finished, so select all, and then clear out the blanks, and then take out all the stuff I've finished over here, and this will update the current list. And then remove filter. And so this is all the games that are left over from last year. Whew. All right. So, man, is my estimated time total already over 579 hours? I mean, I usually play more than that. 2 hours a day. I think I'll leave all these in here for now. Especially the ones I'm still playing through and stuff, but yeah. So I have some thoughts about what I'd like to play next year. and feel free to start chiming in with stuff at this point. Clair Obscur, I would like to play next year. I heard a lot of good things about it. I think we should play it next year. I do want to keep RPGs and 60-hour games to 6 or less for stream purposes. Yeah. But Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, we should play it. I think we should play it. Yakuza 5 and Yakuza 6, we should play. I think we should do that. And then I'll work on the formatting later, or I can just do it now, I guess. Escape from Duckov, I kind of already have on there. Don't I? Yeah. Can take that off then. Hollow Knight Silksong, we should play Hollow Knight 6 Silksong. I played the original Hollow Knight, enjoyed that. We should play Hollow Knight Silksong. Should play that at some point next year. Nier Replicant, I should play Nier Replicant sometime coming up here. I think what we'll do this year is I'll try and do like an Atlas game and then a non-Atlas game and just ping pong back and forth on the weekends. And by that I mean I'll like play through one Atlas game and then I'll play through a non-Atlas game and we'll just go back and forth like that this year. Not too worried about where I put this if it's not exactly alphabetical. Because I can... Bloodborne! I'm kind of interested in playing Bloodborne. I'm wondering if I should play Dark Souls 1 or 2 first or something. But I do have access to Bloodborne now. I found it for pretty cheap someplace. So that was nice. But thinking about it more, I should probably play Dark Souls 1 or 2 or something first. So I think I'm going to hold off for now on this one just because it's like over 40 hours and I'm trying to like keep the amount of games that I have that are kind of long down. So SMT 1 and 2, yeah, we should play SMT 1 and 2. So I made this whole spreadsheet of Atlas research, by the way, of like all the Atlas games and their availability and all that stuff. You don't really need to know too much about it, just that like not everything is available in English, even with fan patches and stuff. And then I wanted to play, yeah, Megami Tensei and Megami Tensei 2. Which there's an SNES remake of it. Called Megami Tensei: The Old Testament, so on the SNES. So, and that's like 44 hours. We might play some other SMT stuff, but let me put this on at least for now, because that's like 44 hours, and that's technically both the games, I think. So I don't know if I'll play them like back to back or whatever, but yeah. Okay. GTA 3, why did I put this on here? Maybe I'll play this myself? I don't know. Some of this stuff is just stuff I want to play myself. Is there anything that I want to put on for like stream games? Oh yeah, the Devil May Cry reboot. Yeah, okay. Do I have that already here somewhere? Yeah, I do. Okay. That one's like 12 hours long. That'd be a good one to play. And so we can get this one. And then some of this stuff is stuff I guess I can think about playing off stream or whatever. It's just for me personally. I don't know why. Yeah, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's fine. Is there anything else? I guess I don't know if Mr. Wolf King is still here, but let me pull up the game that they recommended just so I can see what it is. Ooh. I don't know, Chief. This is looking very RPG Maker. Oh, it's a remake, remaster of the original one, which was a RPG Maker game. I don't know. It doesn't look like quite my thing. I don't know. It's also hard to take a gamble on like games that I haven't heard too much about when there's so many games sitting in my library that I know I'm probably gonna enjoy. I feel like I should throw on like one more action series here other than just like DMC. Probably God of War. Can do that, yeah. And then people wanted me to play Ninja Gaiden Black, so I guess I'll do that one too. Yeah, I don't know. I should have figured out the time stuff a little bit better. This is just the only time I could stream, unfortunately, today. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to do my best here. I don't know what else there really is to say. I understand this, the way the stream is going might have some issues or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I had to get tired here. I'm just trying to do my best to keep the energy up and talk about things after an 8-hour shift and stuff. Just been so tired lately. I don't know. Maybe I'm worrying too much about this. I kind of want to shift the vibe of some of the streams I'm doing, by the way. Just kind of like lean a bit more in the casual side of things. I don't know, but like I feel like that's kind of what the streams are anyway. I don't know. I feel like I need to sit down and think about, or I need to figure out like what I want the streams to be and what I want, where I want videos to factor into this, and like how much time I should be spending on making videos and stuff. And like, I don't know. I need to sit down and start asking myself real questions about like this thing I'm putting so much time and effort into and what I actually want it to be. It's been my major takeaway from this year so far. It's just time. At this point, I'm mostly doing this for myself, if I'm being totally honest. I hope at some point I can I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever look back on this. Maybe if when I'm editing or something, it'll be kind of interesting to look back at this. Or just have like some sort of record. Some sort of record that I existed. I don't know. It's all matter. I don't know. I think it's useful to have the list and everything and all that, but does all this need to be streamed? I don't know. Maybe I could just record myself or kind of keep it as a journal for myself or whatever. I guess as long as I'm having fun and I can hopefully try and make things interesting. I don't know. Sometimes I think it would be nice to just give up the whole streaming thing and just play games. But I do think that I would lose something if I wasn't streaming it. I do enjoy streaming. At the same time, I feel like I'm streaming too much or other things are getting in the way of streaming. I think really what the answer is I need to spend more time outside of streaming, getting better at certain things or making more videos so the streams are better, or understanding what makes a good stream for the audience, because I've just been kind of doing things that I want to do, which is fine, and some people will enjoy that and will enjoy the vibe of that and like the smaller, more tight-knit kind of feel of the streams. But at the same time, it's not something you can ever make a job out of with only a few people watching. And I think I would like to make this a job, at least for a little while. I don't know if I would want to do it for the rest of my life, but I'd like to give it a good shot at making it a job and making some money off of it and making it sustainable. I think the next year is going to be interesting, just over the fact that, like, I think I'll have figured out by the end of by the end of 2026, maybe this will be the goal, is I'll have figured out what I want this channel to be, and I'll have hopefully gotten better at editing and figured out like what I want out of this. I don't know, it feels so weird because I can barely remember what I was doing at the start of 2025. Here I am at the end of it, sitting alone in an open room, basically, talking to myself about the future. I don't know if anybody will ever even see this. Probably nobody will. Nobody will probably care. I don't know, maybe one day. That's the idea, right? That's the hope. And one day you get big enough that people will go back and actually care and look back at these random stuff. I don't know. I talk so much, man. I talk so much, but I feel like I don't do as much as I talk. I talk a lot of talk and I don't do stuff, and I hate that. I think it also, like, gives people who watch kind of a feeling of like, yeah, okay, he said he's gonna do this, but is he actually? And that's fair, because sometimes, a lot of the time, that does happen. Like that Dead Space video I was saying I was gonna make, and I started and I never finished. Started a few videos that I've never finished. I think with the editing thing, I just take on projects that are way too big. I just want to jump immediately to making the kind of videos that I see other people make, but at the same time, I haven't done all the legwork, and I don't have the same like talent as some of those people do, and like an eye for that, some of that stuff, or the same enthusiasm around it. I just need to like put in more time and put in more reps and more repetition and get better at editing in general before I can make the kind of videos that they're making. I don't know. I think what I'll do is just make a post on YouTube, like the YouTube post stuff, and then also on Discord, and ask for like suggestions, because it seems like most people are either asleep or busy or whatever, or already had their New Year's or whatever. I probably should have done this earlier in the day, but also I was working all day. I guess if it was that important to me, I could have asked for today off, but would have been kind of hard to get today off because it's New Year's Eve. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of sitting here thinking at the end of the year here. There's some stuff going on in my personal life I could probably sit and think about, but maybe I'll just journal about that and not put that out on the public internet. At least as far as the streams go, I have felt like fairly overwhelmed with trying to balance streams and work lately, mostly over the last week or so or whatever. I've just not been getting a lot of good sleep, and just kind of running from one thing to another. This is going to be kind of the end of that. I'm going to finally just either be working or I'm just going to be back to a normal schedule after today. But yeah. What's going on now? Oh, I was going over the spreadsheet and getting existential about the end of the year here. Just like adding things for next year and stuff. Overall, I think this stream was kind of a flop. I should have done it earlier. And also, like, I don't know. I still don't know how to quite present some of this stuff, so it's interesting for people. Also, I don't know how many people actually care. Partially, I'm just doing this for myself, to be completely honest, but... which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it also is like... I don't know. I wish I had more time to prepare for this stream today. I could have made it a lot better if I'd had some time to actually prepare for it a bit more. But, you know, coulda, shoulda, woulda. If I had infinite time, I could have made an infinitely better stream, right? Just kind of is what it is. It is what it is. Overall, I think that the next year here will be kind of interesting. I think I want to experiment a bit more with the weekday streams and the types of streams I'm doing. I'll put out a post and ask for people's recommendations, both on Discord and on YouTube, I think. And because a lot of people weren't able to make it to the stream or whatever, or are busy and stuff, and I'll just put out like the tier list thing as a picture with the post or whatever, and that should be good. Wish everybody a happy new year and all that. Maybe I'll make this into a video. We'll see. I want to make it into a video, but I don't know. I keep getting like promising myself these projects, and then life happens so quickly, and then by the time I get around to like having time for it, it's like, man, that was a while ago now. I don't have the same motivation or energy to do it. I don't know. I need to like start taking on smaller projects and then like going from there, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, it's 11 p.m. here. I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow, unfortunately. Time ever crunches on. I hope you guys all had a good 2025. It feels like it just passed by in a blur for me. I do think that I learned a lot, but also like, I don't know. A lot of stuff happened this year, you know? But I also feel, I don't know. I feel like hitting 25 was a big milestone for me, personally, in my mentality and everything, and how I see the world. And I think that 2026 will probably be me trying to work through those realizations and trying to change my life and the way I do things so that I can get to my goals, because I feel like the realization that my time is not infinite has finally sunk in. And I think that's going to color how I look at things a lot more and what I choose to spend my time on going into 2026 and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. Like I said, I gotta go to bed. Literally, as soon as the stream is done here, I'm gonna go brush teeth and go to bed. But I'll see you guys this weekend. I'll put up the streams for this weekend, probably tomorrow or Friday. It'll be definitely Dead Space on Saturday. We're gonna finish that probably Saturday. If we don't, then we'll finish it on Sunday. But if we do finish it, then I'll try and start Persona Q2 on Sunday. So it'll be interesting. For the weekday streams, I'm not really sure what we're going to be doing. I already kind of did some extra streams this week, obviously. Like I streamed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday already this week. So I'm probably not going to do another like Friday stream or anything this week. And then we'll go from there. I'll talk more about, I guess, going forward, what the plans are for the year on Saturday, Sunday. Right now, I really am pretty tired, and I should get to bed here. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you for hanging out, everybody who came, stopped by. I hope you guys are having a good week, and hope you had a good 2025. I'll see you guys all next year. But yeah, memes aside, hope you guys are all doing well. I don't know. I'm trying to figure stuff out. Life is never simple, but I'm gonna keep moving forward the best way I know how, and hopefully do right by you guys and make stuff that you guys can enjoy and I can be proud of, and I think that'll be the goal. And I think if I can do that, I think I'd be pretty happy. So I will see you guys later, but in case I don't see you, hope you guys have a good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See ya.